Actually apply your expeditions throughout Russia or Australia to business? I mean, is there a lesson there that, okay, you put your head down, your backside up, and you just do it?
I think you can. I mean, especially when the real questions, you know, what do you think about when you've got 25,000 kilometres ahead of you, when you're just starting out?
What do you think about?
Well, exactly, and it's really daunting if you're trying to think, oh, I'm going to be on the road for another 9.5 months, and I'm going to have, you know, go across 4 or 5 deserts, and I'm going to have all, you know, going to have lots of tough times and good times, and so it's a bit daunting. So you've got to really break that up into little goals. So, you know, starting and finishing in Canberra. So starting off in Canberra, the idea was to, you know, get to Sydney the first, you know, 4 days back through the Blue Mountains, and then Sydney to Brisbane, and make it into little manageable chunks. And then, like on the Canning Stock Route, which is the toughest part of the trip, the Canning's actually about 2,000 k's long, crosses 4 deserts, roughly 1,000 sand dunes. Whoa. Okay. And I had a situation, you know, where I had, you know, some really bad dehydration at one point. Emotionally, physically, I was absolutely drained, and, you know, wanting to give up. And you sit down in the sand there, having a little cry, and thinking, you know, what am I doing? Why am I doing this thing? And then to get up and to sort of, again, start just by getting to the next bush, you know, 10 metres in front of you, then to the next sand dune, and it's just kind of like, I said, just increasing those little goals to get there, you know, so one step at a time, or one pedal at a time. Often it was steps there, but...
Is it more of a belief in yourself, or is it stubbornness that gets you to the next stage of that bike ride?
You have to have all of that, I think.
Yeah. Are you a stubborn person?
Determined when I want to get to something.
So not stubborn, more determined.
Yeah, some might say I'm stubborn, but I don't think so. Just determined.
So, which was the hardest? I mean, this is a great book and a great bike ride. I mean, a great journey, and I suppose a journey of self-discovery too. Which was one of the epic moments on your bike ride or on the trip that actually stood out, that, you know, said to you, "This is who I am. This is why I'm doing this. This is what I'm all about."
I think, again, that situation where I just described, that was when I was really, I mean, I'm relatively tough, but that was when I was feeling bad, and I'd only done 10 days, I think. That's day 10 on the Canning Stock Route. The whole thing took me 28 days, so I'd only done a third of the distance, and it's kind of like, you know, I had the Great Sandy Desert still to cross and half the Gibson Desert, and, you know, what am I doing here? And that, you know, questions were really asked at that point, you know, do I just sit down, do I give up? What will people think? I've got all these sponsors, I've got all this, you know, I've promised people I'm going to give this my best shot. Is this my best shot? No, it's not. Let's keep going. So, and that's really helped. You know, I'm also a professional sports person. I was playing in the final of the Australian Open earlier this year in real tennis. I don't know, we haven't mentioned that one yet. But at that point, you know, I was like 3-love up in the first set, and I tore a muscle, and I couldn't even walk. I couldn't put my foot on the ground. I came off, had my leg bound up, thought, oh, probably not really going to be able to play. Thought I'd just have a go anyway. Came back on, relaxed. She was up 5-4, came back, and I just went into a whole different zone, and I felt calm, and I actually realised that actually some of the strength was gained from back on that Canning Stock Route. So I actually ended up winning the match, and it's kind of like a lot of people watching. It was a pretty amazing experience, but I was able to draw on experiences, even though you think real tennis or tennis compared with this is so different.
So, okay, as a major part of your life, as 2 trips, how do you actually feel now? I mean, are you chewing at the bit to, I mean, maybe hop on a bike and go for a ride across the United States or across the North Pole or somewhere? I mean, there's not many places left, really.
Oh,
you've done Europe.
There are plenty.
You've done Europe, you mentioned before. So there's Europe, Russia, Australia. I mean, where else? Asia, I suppose.
There are lots of places, and it's a little bit like a disease. Once you start doing these things,
stop.
It's kind of like you're always thinking about another possibility. And I've got a few cooking in my mind at the moment, but until I actually research them, at the moment, both ideas probably wouldn't be possible because you can't get across some of those political borders. But I'm
sure you'll find a way.
Yeah, you've got to. Yeah, there are ways maybe, and until I actually can get those ideas more solid, I wouldn't want to reveal, because you'll say, oh, I can't do that or whatever. But it's got to have A, the adventure aspect, and B, a really good strong purpose, like whether it's the sustainability issues or whether it's the Chernobyl thing as well. So it's got to have something that marries and matches really well. So.
Okay, the book is out there and back. Where can they buy the book? I suppose all good bookstores and bad bookstores too. Everyone sells it.
Yes, and if it's not in the store, they're a bad bookstore. But
they're naughty. They're a very naughty bookstore.
You can also get it from my website, which is www.graceexpedition.org, GRACEXPEDITION.org. Excuse me, lost my voice. So yes, so you can off my website and also good bookstores.
Fantastic. You're an amazing person. This is the problem with these conversations. They're not long enough. This is where we should sit down with a glass of red or a bottle and talk and talk and talk.
That's right.
Fantastic chatting with you.
And
all
you
the
too,
best
Mike.
with your book too.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.